Alrighty, what's going on, guys? It is Killer Drone, and welcome back to the Killer Drone channel. Today we're going to be covering more Fortnite, in particular, the transforms inside of Fortnite and how they work. So, in order to get to your transforms, you're going to have to unlock this from the skill tree in order to get to it, but after you have it unlocked, you're going to go to your armory, and then you're going to click on this button down here called Transform. So let's go ahead and click into this, and there's actually two types of transform keys that you will have in the game. You'll have your permanent keys, which are found here, and then you'll also have your consumable keys, which I actually don't have any consumable keys right now. But the way that you get the consumable keys is you actually get them from quests. Once you complete some quests, sometimes they will give you uncommon, rare, etc. keys that you can use, and you can use it for one time. But let's go over here, let's go to our permanent keys, and let's just check out some of these things and what they do. So there are four types of keys that I have right now. I have the melee weapon transform, I have the ranged weapon transform, I have the survivor transform schematic, and then I also have the weapon transform schematic. So what do these do? All of these are of the rare level. So basically what I can do is I can take anything that is uncommon or common and I can transform it into a rare. So some of your useless items, instead of recycling them, you can potentially get a better item out of it. So if I just use something like the melee weapon transform schematic here for an example, you'll see that we will be presented with this menu. So up here at the top, we will have 5 card slots. Over here on the right side, we will have these, it's kind of like an XP bar. I'll kind of explain this as we go along. Then we have the you will receive slot here. And then the requirements of what you will need in order to do the transform will be presented down here. So let's just go through it and let's see what we got. So I'm going to click on this first card, and you can actually slot anything into here that you want. You don't have to use your heroes if you don't want to. You can go over here, you can use your survivors, you can use your lead survivors, you can use absolutely anything. However, do notice that certain things do have point values. So your heroes are going to have a high point value, your defenders are going to have an okay point value, but something like your survivors are going to have a pretty low point value. Now, these point values are very interesting because you're going to have them in order to fill up this bar. So if I was to do something like put in this survivor here, it's only going to fill up to a common level of 6. So in order to get to an uncommon level, you have to have at least 16. I guess you can call it power in this case. So let's go ahead and let's change that, and let's use a weapon. So if I put an uncommon weapon in here, boom, we have now filled up that entire bar in one use, and we're actually going to be working on the next bar. So I'm going to put in a second weapon here. Boom, now we have filled up the second bar, and we are at green. So this is now an uncommon level. And then if we go in here and we use another weapon, we have now reached the rare tier, but we need some more points in order to get all the way up to 48. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw in all of our uncommons here, and we should max it out. So now with the entire thing maxed out, we will get 2,000 schematic XP and 1 rare weapon. However, if you see, if we do not reach the max tier, we will only get an uncommon melee weapon. However, let's go ahead and let's say that we're going to remove all of this. Let's say that we use something that's of an extremely high point value, right? Let's say that I use my hammer here. It is worth 250 points, and I just throw this in here. It maxes it immediately. However, I'm only going to get a rare melee weapon and a 5,000 schematic, so this doesn't make a whole lot of sense in order to do, right? It just doesn't add up. It's not worth it. However, if I go in here and I use something like all of my rares, well, this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense either, because now I'm essentially just trading out one rare for another rare and some hero XP. It doesn't really add up. You're not gaining anything out of it. So let's go ahead and let's do something like, okay, let's use up all of our uncommon survivors that I don't use, right? Or uncommon heroes that I don't use. So let's throw these guys in there. So we used 2 of these, and now we still have just a couple more. Let's just go ahead and let's throw in a weapon in order to get those last points. And boom, now we're going to turn 2 heroes and an uncommon weapon into a rare weapon, and then some hero and some schematic XP. Let me go ahead and explain why you're getting hero and schematic XP. Basically, if you use any type of person, if you use a hero or if you use a survivor, you're going to get hero XP. However, if you use a weapon or if you use something like a trap, you're going to get Schematic XP. But if we use, let's see, if you do something like a survivor here, and we put in a survivor, now we're going to get survivor XP. So you will get a little bit of XP back from doing this, but it's not going to be as much as if you recycle. The big thing is that you're getting a new weapon. So basically take some of your old stuff, you're going to get a new item, and you're going to get a little bit of XP as well in order to put toward that new item. So let's go ahead and let's clear this out, and I'm actually going to do a transform here for you guys real quick, and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, and you guys can see kind of how it works. So I'm going to clear this out, and we are doing a melee weapon transform, so I'm actually going to fill this thing up with melee weapons just to get it up. So let's go ahead, I'm going to fill it up completely with melee weapons and max this guy out. So now we are at max. We're using 5 melee weapons of uncommon variety in order to get 1 rare weapon and 2,000 schematic XP. Now, as you can see down here, they actually have requirements in order to do this. Now, for the melee weapons, or for any of the weapons, it actually uses research points, as you can see here. However, if we were doing a hero or a person, so if we go over here, like here, this is a survivor transform. Instead of using research points, it's actually going to use the people, the little photos that you're getting from completing quests or completing your collection book. This is how you use those people. A lot of people have been asking me that. That's where people are used. And then if you are actually going to be making traps, which I don't have a key for, I actually saw this out of one of the people in our Discord. They had a trap transform key. Those actually use what's called pure drops of rain. So you can use pure drops of rain in order to do your transform. So let's go back into here though, and let me go ahead and do my transform that I was talking about. I probably should have just done this earlier, but let's go ahead and fill this in like so. Alright, and now as you can see, we have a max level here, we have a rare melee weapon here, and we're going to get 2,000 schematic XP as well. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hit transform, confirm, and now we have the Copper Shadow Blade, an edged weapon sword, and it has 85.8 damage. It basically just gives you a new weapon to use. It's going to give you a weapon of rare variety, and we also receive this 2,000 schematic XP. So go ahead, hit continue, and that's it. That's basically everything that there is to transforms. There's also a couple of things that I would like to note. If you actually have a epic transform, then the epic transform for the people, so if I go here, so we have the survivor transform schematic. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and I will show you guys kind of how this works as well, just for example purposes, because I have a lot of people and getting another rare wouldn't be a bad idea. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to throw in Tank Penny. And Tank Penny has a, she's an uncommon. We're going to turn her into a rare because, as you can see, we've already maxed her with just one person, actually. That's kind of ridiculous. But it's also going to cost us 140 people. Now, if I was to do this on the epic scale or on the epic transform, which I don't have unlocked, that costs 240 people. For the weapons, using research points like we did earlier, it cost us 500 research points. If you move up to the epic tier, it actually costs 2,500 points in order to do that. So I would say that for the epic tier, in order to create weapons, it's probably not worth it because those research points can be used in your research skill tree, and that's far more important. Let's go ahead though, and let's do this transform here. We're going to transform this uncommon hero into a rare survivor. And it's going to cost us 140 people, but that's okay. Go ahead, hit confirm. Boom! We now have a rare survivor, and this dude actually looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. And we've also received 400 hero XP because we actually transformed using a hero. So that's cool. We got a couple of new items. We have a brand new sword here, and we also have a brand new survivor here. I hope that I explained this good enough for you guys to kind of get a grip of what I'm trying to convey here. It's very simple for the most part. Basically, play around with it. There's not too much there. Basically, the higher rarity of the weapon, the more points that you have, and the higher this value over here is going to go up. So if I was to use this epic hero, boom, it's immediately maxed, but it's really not worth it because I'm just going to get one rare out of it. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead, consider leaving me a like. If you did not, go ahead, leave a dislike. That's fine with me as well. And if you're new around here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have another member here of the Drone Army. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. You guys have a great day.